Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 6, Big 6-0 of the Gilded City 2, The Lost Kingdom. We are here with you. We're very excited. If you missed the last 2 episodes, what are you doing? Big battle against the Golden Flame in the last couple episodes. So go back and watch those, and then come back here. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on social media at RollerSkill DND. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and dive on in to tonight's episode. Content warning. Ravenloft as a setting can feature disturbing themes and ideas, and while it is never going to be our intention to upset anyone, it is worth noting. Specific tags can be found in the description of this episode. Last time, the party did battle with the Golden Flame, Apollo Brightshield III. Despite his attempts to preserve his immortality and powerful spellcasting on his part, N-Tandem emerged from the battle triumphant. With that epic battle concluded, the party had to turn their mind to other matters, namely, that they now have a domain of Ravenloft without its Dark Lord, and a populace to figure out what to do with. So now they prepare to speak to the people at Oikos and attempt to give them some choice on what comes next. So that is where we left off. You all are leaving the cathedral and kind of being led by Duran and Nemesis towards the center of the city. Before you leave the cathedral, Ariadne is going to say, if it's all right with you, I will stay here. I don't think that my monstrous presence would be all that welcomed by the people of the city. And I can keep an eye on your brother and well, I don't know if your mother wants to go with you or not, but she's also welcome to stay with me.
No, thank you. Mom, why don't you stay with Dagran?
She just sort of nods and says, yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Good luck.
We'll be back.
And with that, Duran and Nemesis lead you through the Golden Flame District. As you make your way through the district, you know, this is a private district, so there's not that many people who live here right now. But even so, there are like members of the guard and of the army that like sort of are like coming to this edge of sort of the walkway areas and sort of like staring and like whispering to each other. You overhear one of them say like, "Did you see the golden light from the cathedral?" And just everybody seems just really confused and unsure what's happening. You also see overhead the sky is getting quite cloudy as you make your way to the gate. And you proceed down the main thoroughfare. As you do, there's sort of a growing crowd around all of you as you make your way down the street. You know, people just talking to each other, trying to figure out what the hell is going on, what happened. They all could see when, when the golden flame died, there was this blast of golden light and fire that some of you got singed by. Apparently, the illumination from that was seen throughout the city. And so there's a lot of people with a lot of questions about what is going on, what's next. And so as you sort of go through the city with everybody sort of murmuring, whispering, and all this stuff, that's what's going on. But what is going on with all of you individually as you're making your way to the central square to have this, address to the city?
Jeez. Oh, I'm gonna heal myself a little more.
Good call. Good call. Yeah, I mean, you, Artemis, I will say you do feel a little bit of a stronger tether to the silver flame now than you did before you killed the golden flame. And you think that if you wanted to speak to the silver flame, you could do so quite easily.
Good to know.
How
Well,
injured?
good.
How
Sorry?
injured is everyone?
Yeah, because I can use my whole healing light pool and just heal everyone a little bit.
I'm at 72. After a couple things of healing.
As long as we don't get another fight, I'll be good. Which we better not. I'm fine.
I've lost 3 hit points.
Oh my god.
I just stayed in the ceiling.
If people need healing, I have also my lay on hands. I can divide them up.
I should be.
I'm not going to say no to anything, but I'm okay. I'm not going to fall over.
Well, I can just heal. Just take 40.
To me? Thanks.
Does
Okay, I feel
anyone
great now.
Need lay on hands. Nope.
Thanks.
Okay. Fine.
I think we're good. Just relatively quick speech-ish. And then it's getting cloudy really fast, so that's fun. The mist is already doing its thing.
As you're now getting close to what's called the Eternal Flame Court, and you see like there, all sorts of people are sort of pressing into the main thoroughfare on the streets sort of off the main thoroughfare. Like, again, word has spread quickly that there was a blast of golden light from the place where their god lives, and then a bunch of people walked out of there, and that is you all. And now you're walking through the city, and so everybody is kind of like, and again, the word is spreading faster than you are moving. But everybody is kind of looking at you all, trying to like figure out who you are, what you're doing here, what happened, what is happening. and you reach the Eternal Flame Court, and there's there's kind of a permanent stage built in front of the now empty brazier. The flame went out in it. And Taryn Duran turns to you, Artemis, and says, I will briefly introduce you, and then the people of the city could use words of guidance from you on what comes next.
Sure. Thank you.
He nods. He sort of climbs up the steps, and he turns to address the crowd and uses, you see his like fingers move on one of his hands, and he casts the thaumaturgy cantrip to make his voice sound louder. And he says, good morning, citizens of Oikos. Yeah, it's still morning, by the way.
Longest fucking day.
You remember the day started very shortly after dawn.
Yeah.
We did that before lunch. Good job.
You didn't have breakfast this morning either, so you're probably pretty hungry, but
That's what it is.
that's what it is.
That's why we feel weird. No other reason.
Anyway, Taryn Duran says, good morning, citizens of Oikos. I'm sure you saw the same thing that we all saw. A blast of golden light from the heights of the city. And I'm sure you all have questions about what happened, about why the flame behind me went out. I'm sure you also have questions about the chaos that you may have heard or seen this morning with the army. The golden flame is gone. And there's just there's a stir in the crowd. There's a couple, there's gasps, there's whispers, there's a couple of screams, there's one or two people start sobbing in the crowd. And Taryn Duran holds up his hand and says, I know it is frightening. You have worshipped the golden flame for generations, but there is a new path, a better path for the people of Oikos to take. For years, we have lived under a rule that said that we had to pretend like everything was okay, or else we stood to be pushed and burned in the brazier behind me. Was that good? Was that just? There is a better way. There's a new way forward. And the person who's going to help show all of us the way forward is the great hero, Artemis Brightshield. You may recognize the last name. He is of the royal lineage of Oikos, and he can help us find a new path, a better path for the future of Oikos and its citizens. And so now I turn the stage over to Artemis Brightshield. And
Woo!
he claps and gestures for you to come up on stage. And there's some scattering of applause, but people are just not sure what to think. They're confused, they're lost, things are weird right now.
I'm gonna look at the rest of the team. You know, I'm always one for the spotlight, but I'd like it if all of you could come with me.
Sure.
I'll hobble on up with Jinarra's dog. Like my-
Absolutely.
and I guess the bird. You know, the bird's around. Is this thing on? Do I have the spell? Hello there. Yes, my name is Artemis Brightshield. I am of the Brightshield line. Many of you may have seen me and the other members of our group in tandem just a few days ago at the coronation. For our part, I apologize for any confusion, any nerves that you may have, any injury. You all deserve an explanation as to what on earth is going on. It's true, the Golden Flame's no more. But I'm not certain that he was quite truthful with you, who exactly he was. Golden Flame was another Brightshield. Name of Apollo Brightshield. He was a man, just like me, many of you. And he grew too ambitious, and he thought himself way too much. Now, our family has had an oath, a promise to the people of Oikos, to all of you, for a very long time, and we have not been living up to that for centuries. I think it may have started with Apollo. And on behalf of us all, I'm very sorry. We could have done better. We should have done better. The Golden Flame, as he called himself, he was attempting to ascend to godhood. Just looking after this city wasn't enough for him. And he was willing to do it through some pretty twisted means. My brother was very similar. Dagger and Brightshield was very similar in that way. I think there was going to be a passing of the torch somehow. You don't know me, and I don't expect you to be incredibly comfortable with me. For the time being, just to keep a little bit of order, I ask you to go out on a limb and trust me to just be in charge for a little longer. You can get to know me. You can get to know my friends. Talk to us. I'll visit the taverns and such, but there are other pressing matters at hand. And Ben, just so I don't have to monologue all this.
Yeah.
We're gonna lay out a couple of steps, the plan on people can come. Oikos is not going to last without the Golden Flame's influence.
Yeah.
The clouds are already starting to move in. I'm very sorry, but we have a solution. Come with me to safety.
Yeah.
In Faerun, that is an option. Stay here if you want. Or go to another place that the Oikosian people are from even long before, that I don't know much about. Be very just frank about that. And also wrapping in there that it's a big, beautiful world, and there's a lot to explore, a lot to think about, including a lot of different gods that you can look at and turn to, and a lot of different people. And
At that particular point, you notice two things. Number one, a stirring of discontent from the Silver Flame, and you also see Taryn Duran shift a little uncomfortably.
yeah, I'll look at him.
But nobody interrupts you. You know it.
Yeah.
What was there anything else you wanted to lay out, or is that sort of all of it?
I think it's pretty much
Okay.
it. And to get a chance to know us, and that on my part, I will do my best to live up to the Brightshield responsibility of guiding and taking care of those who needs an extra hand.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna have you make, I'll say your choice actually between a persuasion or a performance check. Now, just to lay everything out there, the higher number you get, the smoother this whole process is gonna go. Now, I know you're very good at persuasion, but you know, you want to get as high as you possibly can. Now, you also do have Little Flowers, Jinarra's familiar there, who can provide the help action to you. So you can roll with advantage. And you know what?
Cool.
I will say, just as a nice little nod to how much inspiration you give everyone else, because the other members of the party gave you a pep talk in advance, I will let you add a roll of your bardic inspiration die because they inspired you.
That's so sweet. And now that I leveled up, I get that automatically.
Well, there you go. So
So it all worked out.
So it
all
works out.
That's-
It's poetry.
That's exactly it. It's poetry.
My friends, the power of friendship has finally unlocked that
It's
within me.
finally unlocked that within Artemis. That's how we'll justify it. That's right. So basically, impress me with how high you can roll.
All right. 20.
That's
Let's
as
see.
high as you can roll. So
I mean, yeah, and that one's a 9. So 20, 38, and let's add I'm a D10 inspiration. 45.
45. So the best possible outcome, you did need at least a 40 for the best possible outcome. But, you know, 45 will do it. As you give this whole speech, you explain this to everybody. Everybody sort of listens very seriously to you. And then all at once, a million questions come streaming up to the stage, at which point Nemesis comes up, holds up her hands and says, "Everyone, people of Oikos, my name's Nemesis. Some of you may know me. Some of you poor bastards like me back there, I see you, know me. I know that Lord Brightshield just delivered a lot of information, and I'm sure everybody wants some time to process things. So, how about this? Head to your homes for now, and any questions you have, please make sure that you get it to myself or Taryn Duran, and we will answer them as best as we can, or pass them on to Lord Brightshield and the others. But take up, you know, within your neighborhoods, create these lists of questions together. And that will make sure that this process goes as smoothly as possible. In the meantime, as Lord Brightshield explained to you, there's a lot that he and his compatriots need to do to get ready to make sure that everybody who wants to leave Oikos safely can do so. So, more information will be coming soon about the logistics of all of that. But I thank you all for listening to what Lord Brightshield had to say.
I'm gonna head over towards Durant.
Yeah,
Terran?
Terran.
Francis?
Yeah.
Terran? Just like very quietly, like go up to him and mutter, I know you didn't like all of that, but forcing people into a religion they don't get to choose. That's how we ended up in this place in the first place. So you've got just a challenge. I'm sure you're up to it. Convince them. I'll give him a little pat on the shoulder.
I see the wisdom in your words, Lord Brightshield. I look forward to discovering faith and helping people discover themselves.
You'll be welcome.
Now, there are obviously logistics that need to be taken care of. If you would like, I can try and organize a small council of people that you can sort of
Yes,
divide
please.
tasks.
Make sure that it is the most knowledgeable of folks, especially those that were loyal to the Golden Flame. Include them as well.
As you say. Lord Brightshield.
If you excuse me, I haven't hugged my friends in a very long time. I need to go do that.
Great. You wrap up the conversation. Everybody gets together. You can hug your friends.
I'm gonna give my friends just a big ol' hug.
Just a
Group hug.
big ol' hug.
We are
Um,
all so sweaty, and we all need a bath.
Yeah, our blood is definitely intermingling, but we've been through worse. We've been in each other's bodies in not a sexual way.
Okay, you didn't need to clarify that.
It's
Was
not
it-
weird.
Just said we swapped
It's not
bodies.
weird.
Okay, all right. I
Oh,
want to
no.
nap so bad. Someone please let us sleep.
Artie, can you? I hate to be a bother. Would you mind? Can you summon the mansion, or do we have to wait for tomorrow?
You know, fucking believe it or not, I can summon the mansion. That is-
Nemesis is sort of standing at the periphery of your group, and she says, if I may make a suggestion before you do so, perhaps you could do it up in the Golden Flame District, where the cathedral is, so that there's a little more privacy for you to rest.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Let's do that.
Is that less than a 10-minute walk? Because I'm gonna give out in 10 minutes.
We walk fast.
Yes, sounds like a good plan. We will find you there after you have had a chance to rest.
Thank you.
And you all head off. Return the way you came. People still pressing in on the streets around you as you make your way up through the city. You still hear like whispers, and some people are shouting out questions about like, what about my belongings? It took me 20 years to pay off my house. And various other things as people shouting at
We're
you as
bringing
you
the
make
city
your way
up,
through
aren't
the
we?
city.
20 years? Okay, brag.
Yeah, only 20.
Only 20, I know. Yeah, they got in on
It's a
a
point of pride.
it is a point of pride.
You'll love Waterdeep because
Sure.
turn that 20 years into 40 years. Welcome to economic inequality and a recession. Bow, 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 bow.
But you successfully make your way up to the Golden Flame District, where you are actually met by a couple of Golden Flame soldiers who are standing in front of the gates. The gates are closed, and one of them looks at you, Artemis, and just says, I am the, I suppose, new general of the guard. As my predecessor is missing, presumed dead. So, you're the last Brightshield.
Yes. I am.
Captain Brontes. And last Brightshield, tell me, why should I and my soldiers lend you our loyalty? Why should we not become a resistance like those you have allied yourselves with?
Good. You could. But as a captain, I think you understand that there's a larger responsibility at play than just you and me. There's an entire city, entire people, and their safety comes first. This city isn't going to last much longer. The clouds and the mists are rolling in. You can stay and try and find a solution. You can come with me and then leave. Take a bunch of people with you.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Ooh, that is not a 20. Persuasion. That is a 23, and I'm gonna wait. Can I do that multiple times for short rest? Yeah, I can. We're gonna add to that.
That's why.
Okay, that brings it up to a 31.
Okay. At this moment, you see the other guard standing in front of the gate, clears his throat, and he says, Captain, when I was on duty at the castle, they could have easily killed me. But they didn't. Brontes gives him a look and says, they turned you into a cat, though. And
Oh,
he says,
He
yes.
lived.
Yes, but they didn't kill me. They could have easily. And if the golden flame were directing them, they would have killed anyone who stood in their way. For what it's worth, sir, I think it is right to stand by them for now, at least. Brontes sighs, turns back to you, Artemis, and says, we are sworn to serve the Brightshield name. And so I suppose we are sworn to you now. Open the gates. And the gates open, and you are able to enter the district.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Run.
You go in, you cast your mansion, and you go in and you can take a rest. Long rest if y'all want. You can conk out all day if you want to. Is there anything anybody wants to do right now?
Now not particularly, but I do want to touch base with Elina.
Yeah.
I'll come to your room. Knock, knock, knock. Hello.
Hi.
Can I come in?
Yes, of course.
Thank
It
you.
is your home.
Well, yeah, but I mean, anyway, so I just wanted to ask you help. I think I've got a little bit of time. I don't know exactly when, but if I assemble the resources and things necessary, would you be willing to help me with my brother?
Of course.
Thanks.
Yes. Do you know what you might need? I may have some things already.
It's probably a metric crap ton worth of diamonds, which I do have access to.
I do
Um,
have a few.
Yeah. I think we do have a longer window of time.
Oh,
But
yes. Recently I learned of a spell that as long as I have the full body and whoever it is didn't die of natural causes within the past 500 years, I think I can recover them.
all right, so we've got a lot of time.
Yes.
So if we want to sit on it.
So if we want to,
If you want to hold off for a little bit,
yeah,
sort out getting Oikos settled,
that sounds
and
good.
then deal with Dagrin, we can do that.
That would be great. Thank you. I do hope, I don't know if you've decided one way or the other. I do hope you'll stick around, even after everything's done. You know, Fabian's, it's not all doom and gloom like this place is. It's a little probably too vibrant to take in, but there's a lot of cool things to see.
I
And cool people.
I have some thinking to do on that yet.
Yeah.
I suppose right now there's nothing tying me here, so it might be worth a new adventure.
But I think we would all love to have you around.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Anyway. Good night.
Good night. And if there's anything that changes with your brother and you would like to do that sooner,
Yeah, I'll
please
let you
just
know.
keep me informed.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Run back to my room.
Great. Yeah, you run back to your room. We now enter this next little period, which we can do sort of unstructured. It's kind of downtime, but it's really more trying to get things set up in the best way possible to do what you need to do. So, what if folks, I guess, you know, just as a group, how do you all want this process to play out? Artemis got a 45 on his check to talk to the people of Oikos. So this can go pretty much however you all decide you want it to go. You just have to decide how you want it to go. But there will be no hitches. There will be no issues with whatever you do decide.
I have a question, just in terms of now Nyx is seeking knowledge at every turn. Is there a library in the Golden Flame district?
Yeah, you can find a collection of books. You can find a library in the castle, I would say.
Okay. I want to look for books on Eberron.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
What is that? 32.
Yeah. You can find. You find some. You find some tomes on various worlds, but there's not much specifically on Eberron because a lot of that history was lost. But you did get a 32. And with that, I will say that Ariadne sort of visits you while you're in there and was like, so sorry to admit to Eve's, well, dropping would be the wrong word. My rats told me you were in here. Anyway, it seems like you're looking into stuff related to Eberron. I did have some information in the secret library I could have brought to you.
That would be fantastic.
I will do so. You are brought books by some rats and snakes and spiders.
Lovely.
And you can pour through those tomes, and the information on Eberron in Oikos is out of date.
Sure.
It just is.
I mean, yeah.
There's nothing you can do about that. But you can learn some about Eberron. So Oikos was part of one of the nations on a continent called Corvir, or its people came from one of the nations on a continent called Corvir, which is, I will find in a second here. I'm so sorry. Thrain was the name of the nation. The continent of Corvir is home to several major nation states. And these nation states have long had, various relationships with each other. And the powerful noble houses of these nation states are called the dragon-marked houses. And they have a lineage that bestows members of those houses with special magical powers, which each of those houses has used to leverage enormous political and economic, etc. Power in the hands of these houses. I mean, like any world, it has conflict and strife and such, and a great deal of magic. But I will say the other thing you kind of learn here is that Eberron is, and you've gotten some like little bits of information about this, but Eberron is quite isolated from the rest of the multiverse. The story goes that there were 3 dragon gods at the dawn of time: Sybaris, Kyber, and Eberron. And they created Eberron, which is, again, much like many worlds. But one of those 3 dragon gods, the dragon god Kyber, sought dominion over the realm, attacked Sybaris, killed him, and then went into battle against Eberron. Eberron and Kyber fought each other for quite some time until eventually the dragon Eberron became the world itself, trapping the evil dragon Kyber within his heart, within the heart of his world. So he became a prison. Sybaris, is the dead dragon god, became the source of all magic in Eberron, and also is the reason that why Eberron is so isolated. That Eberron's magic and the body of Sybaris has created a sort of lock, almost, that makes it difficult for interplanar travel to move in and out of Eberron. Now, locks can be picked, right? So there are, obviously, right, the people of Oikos came from Eberron, so they left Eberron. Other people probably have as well. So there's that, but like Toril that is not the experience of the world of Toril. It's pretty easy to travel to other planes, all things considered, from Toril. And from the other planes, it's easy to reach other worlds in the material plane. You cannot go to Eberron so easily. So
With that, do I think there would be any challenge getting people there if they
you think you think you'll have the ability to send people there, but that is more so than going to Faerun, a one-way trip.
Sure.
If people really wanted to leave Faerun, I mean, it would take an extraordinary amount of magic or more likely an extraordinary amount of money to find somebody with an extraordinary amount of magic to send them somewhere else. But they could find someone to do it.
Sure.
With Eberron, there's just a very slim chance that anybody would be able to leave Eberron once they were there.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions about Eberron? I will answer as many questions as you ask, as long as it's something that would be in these books.
Sure. And like these are all. How long has Oikos been gone? Hundreds of years.
Well, it's been gone from Faerun for
Right.
hundreds of
Right.
years. And then its history in Faerun extended hundreds of years before
Right.
that. So it's been probably almost 1,000 years since since the people of Oikos came from Eberron. But you also know time doesn't necessarily move at the same speed on every plane of existence. So you don't actually know how long it's been in Eberron, necessarily.
I guess I would want to know because I would probably try to get people, like the gate would probably can I aim the gate at a certain spot?
Yeah.
In Eberron? Okay.
Yeah, if you want
So then I guess I'd want to like just research the history or like whatever I can find of like the nation states around where Oikos was.
You, based on the information that you have here, you think that your best bet is going to be a city named Sharn. It's the writing in the book state that it is basically a young up and coming city at the time that this information was recorded. But, you know, if any amount of time has passed and the predictions made by this author were to come to pass, Sharn would have a destiny as a magnificent city. And, you know, if you had a bunch of strangers trying to find somewhere to find a place, big ass city is about as good as you could hope for.
I mean, I can't think of anything else in terms of like stuff like information that I could get from these kind of out of date books.
Yeah.
So if anybody else has any questions that I can look into.
Yeah, does anybody else have questions about Oikos?
I don't think so. It's all from, except the people and the culture originally. It's all from Faerun.
Right.
Nah, I've been pretty. This has all been pretty clear. No questions.
Me trying to figure out where Faerun is. I just Googled it, everyone. Don't worry.
It's on a world called Toril. And
Yeah, it's our continent. or
it's your
off-
continent. It's where
Yeah,
you
yeah.
live.
Good
Yeah.
to know. I didn't go to school, so.
Okay. Then I will have the rats and snakes and things take the books back
Right.
with a little note that says thanks.
Okay, you've gathered information about Eberron that you can sort of disperse as well so that people can make as informed a decision as they can. What else are people doing to try to get, what else this is something you can do or something you can have done to try and get this process through? Again, Artemis got a 45. So this process can go however you all want this process to go.
I
So
would.
how- yeah, go.
Okay. I'd just like to offer, like, to be with the people that are answering questions.
Yeah.
Particularly Artemis, to help with like potentially calm emotions if people are getting a little bit too heated.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
Keep that.
Absolutely. You do a lot of time speaking with people in Oikos and casting calm emotions and just trying to get people through this difficult period here.
Is there like a treasury of gems, specifically diamonds?
There's a treasury of gold and silver and copper and gemstones and an enormous amount of.
How many people do we think died in our attack?
Stimulus gems?
You could resurrect everybody who died in the attack, I would say. If you wanted to.
I mean, I feel like we should. Even the people that are going to be pissed off at us. They were Oikosians, we should save them. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Is this something that's going to take several days, or is this something we can do in a day?
Depends on how many died.
Well, there's also other clerics you can work with who now have to find other divine sources to draw their power from, many of them, but
Oops.
they could help.
Oopsies.
Yeah, you set up, but you can do that. I'll just say that's either both between what you all are doing personally and what other clerics are sort of helping with. You can revive plenty of people, and this sort of act of like goodwill and good faith sort of builds more kind of confidence among people of the city in sort of this guy who's trying to lead them out of this situation.
Do we have... Sorry,
Oh,
someone else.
You can go.
Oh, okay. Bowmin, similar to what Elina was doing, helping with calm emotions. Bowmin kind of wants to open up an info booth if you have questions about Toril, because I feel like with the exception of maybe Jinarra, Bowmin has explored most of the continent of
Bowmin
Beirut.
also has a lot of, well, you've at least explored most of the western part of the continent.
Yeah.
The eastern part of the continent is kind of the
That's another story.
biggest superpower in the eastern part of that continent is not friendly to outsiders, is what I will say. So you have not been to Faye. But
Bowman's telling everyone what great bars are there.
yeah.
Boats?
No, yeah, Bowmin, you're able to answer lots of
Right.
questions about Faerun, about Toril, about sort of the Sword Coast Federation and Cormyr and some of the other countries in the western, some of the other small countries in the western part of Faerun, and you know, I mean, giving them a very honest sort of, you know, layout of what it's like. I mean, you know, you've seen the good and you've seen the bad, so you're able to sort of answer people's questions, and you know, at least they're not being directly ruled over by a deity who throws dissenters into fire. So that's a plus.
At the same time, Bowman starts describing and trying to tell everyone. So they have this thing called democracy. where
Yeah, exactly.
As an
Exactly.
individual matter, it's a new thing that people are doing.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about it, but that's how it is.
yeah.
It's a crazy new dance the kids are doing.
It's a crazy new dance the kids are doing.
I
Yeah.
think Jinarra would be helping with this because she certainly knows the most about Waterdeep, but she has explored some other areas, and her parents have certainly told her tales of other areas.
Yeah.
So probably has a decent knowledge base too.
Absolutely.
Nyx also hangs out around there and passes out pro-union pamphlets.
Yes. Absolutely.
Because regardless of where they end up, they should have their workers' rights protected.
Penny, do you have an extra copy of your book?
What book?
You know,
Oh, the one.
book you
Your
published
books.
about us.
Yeah, I have several copies, and I can also, if people need more copies, I have like a photographic memory and I can just copy one real quick if you need more copies.
Okay, well, I was just thinking of at least passing them around, a couple around to some of the larger taverns or things for people to read. Or
Yeah, I can sign them too. And I can do a pretty decent forgery of Octavia's signature as well. I usually practice it, so.
Practice Octavia's signature.
What? For when I need to sign our books because she's not present, because she abandoned us. I know she's
She
gonna do-
actually just holds
Penny
Octavia's
Burnett.
signature next to her face at night and cries a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, also Artie, real quick, I'm sure that Herb Davis and like the rest of Waterdeep is like spreading the message of the fact that we may be bringing people there. But I know that you are talking about having people live on your property. Do
Yeah.
you have a way to contact them to let them know that they might have a few thousand people, or do you want me to do sending to them? Or try to give them a heads up so they can maybe buy some extra supplies, get some tents out.
Only one person. I only know one person who wasn't killed,
Well,
and that
you
was
did.
the gatekeeper.
Yeah, but you did hire a new.
Oh, I hired that new
Momo.
butler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
What was his name?
And
Artie, what was his name? Chief of your staff.
Hold on, this is gonna be. We're going back a ways in the notes to this. Candlekeep, not before that.
I have it if you get tired of looking for it.
Barnabas Basil?
That is correct.
Barnabas Basil?
I
Barnabas
gotta
Basil.
fucking change his name or something.
Barnabas Basil.
I call him Bonnie.
Okay. I was gonna try to send a message to Octavia, so I can also try to send a message to Barnabas.
Yeah.
Do we have entry poll data right now of what the split for the Oikosians is in terms of where they want to go? Like, do we have an idea of numbers right now?
Not that I know of.
I did
also-
just roll for that if you want to
Yes, the numbers are
consult your
just
small
in.
council.
Let's go to our
Yeah, let's hear what our
correspondence
council
in the
has to
field.
say.
To her
Council?
Council. Okay. Yeah. You consult the small council for the numbers, and you learn that first of all,
What's our
only
approval rating? What's in tandem's approval rating?
pretty high actually, shockingly high considering the circumstances. But you know, Artemis did roll a 45. But so the first things first, only about 4% of the people want to stay in Oikos.
44.
4%.
Oh wow.
4% of the people
Better.
want to stay in Oikos. They understand that that is sort of it if they do. Eventually, they could always leave for another domain of Ravenloft, but for one reason or another, they are gonna stay here. Then you also get so that's 4%. The remaining 96% of the population. Let's see. So about 39% of the population wants to go to Eberron. And so 57% of the population, over half of the population of Oikos, wants to come to Faerun.
And a
What's the
rough-
population of Oikos currently?
Yeah, a rough estimate on how many thousands of people that is.
Let's make it easy and say 100,000 people total.
the economy.
So I'll go ahead and I'll send a message to Barnabas, and then I'll send a message to Octavia, letting them know that they can present.
So that's
Assume-
57,000 refugees that are going to
Yeah,
be coming
assume
to
there's gonna be
Faerun.
about around almost 60,000 refugees coming to, give or take a few thousand.
And then that leaves.
Do you have
Holy
enough? Do you have enough?
No.
Okay. Can you buy more property? Do you have the money for that?
Wait, what about your family's property?
I mean, this is 57,000 people.
Yeah.
People.
That's a lot.
They're
Nyx!
commune.
I don't want to give them like bunk beds.
Well,
wanna
you-
I
give-
mean,
but this is
you're-
temporary. They
you're-
might
yeah,
leave. They
You're
might leave the
basically
property.
setting up a refugee camp
This
with
is not a long.
temporary housing.
Just talking to them, a lot of them don't really plan to stay where we land. Some of
Yeah.
them have plans to go to Waterdeep.
Right.
Some of them are starting to make plans to go to the capital of Cormyr, mostly because of my selling of it. But you know,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, lots of people are planning on spreading out in different directions. They're basically going to take as much wealth as they can carry on them and hope
Oh, y'all.
for the best.
Do we have to teach them about technology?
No, that's someone else's problem. They can go to the library for that. That's not on us.
Do we have to teach them about guns?
I would love to do a gun safety class. For
I should
anyone that is interested.
Are they very common?
They're not uncommon
they're
I mean,
they're annoyingly too common.
in some
mean, yeah,
areas.
there is a
Okay.
good amount of guns.
Also, do they know what like an assembly line is? Do they know what interchangeable parts are? Like, how are they gonna get it done?
You've started getting some of the information out there. I mean, this is what This
I was
process
just telling
is.
them about unions. I didn't tell them what it was like to work in a factory or why they'd want a union. I wanted them to come with us.
I'd like to bring a section of the city with us.
Oh,
I think I'd like, on a personal note, I'm having a hard time leaving like this cathedral behind.
Mm.
This is what
It would definitely be beneficial to have a place that is familiar,
place
or
to
a
start
few.
off. And I think that'll make I have been fighting off a lot of dreams. The flame really wants to talk. I think it would make the flame happier to have some iconography. Place for Terran to set up shop. And we could move most of, or a portion, leaving behind a considerable amount for those left behind, but we could take a portion of the treasury with us and dole things out to people who come with us.
Or
I think we might also be able to bring more than just the cathedral if you wanted to bring like more buildings.
With all of our knowledge, we must know of a place with like some open land where we could
Well,
safely.
Artemis does run a very successful vineyard, and it's a large vineyard. So
And
there's-
everybody was killed
there
not that long ago.
there would be room to plop down the cathedral and maybe a few other buildings
Guys, I
on
need some new
Artemis's
workers.
land. But
That's why I
but
didn't
be-
think it was a problem.
But beyond the cathedral and maybe a few other small buildings, the footprint
Yeah.
is eaten up,
Sure.
basically.
But we could bring
There-
more than just the cathedral if we wanted.
Is there neighboring land
I mean,
that I could
there are
probably smooth over with whoever owns that?
neighboring farms of various types, other vineyards, other orchards, you know, I mean, you live in farmland, right? So if you crush other people's crops, you're gonna have to smooth that over with the people whose crops you just destroyed, but
And I guess I'll be doing that.
okay.
I'm gonna send a message to Octavia, and then do you want me to give Barnabas a heads up, or do you have a way of talking to him?
I do not have a way of talking to him. So yes, if you could give him a heads up the next couple of days,
We think.
we think will be arriving. And if he could give a heads up to the neighbors to the east and the northeast, I think that'll be a good corner. And that I will be buying out their lands from them at double its value. And that's where I'm starting negotiation.
Figure it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Technically, I have an entire treasury.
Yeah. Yeah, you might bankrupt Brightshield Vintage, but god damn it, you're gonna do it.
We will work. We will rise.
Okay. Penny, who are you sending a message to first?
Okay, so first will be Barnabas.
Okay. I need you to roll a D100 to see if it goes
Yeah,
through.
okay, right.
Barnabas died of like
If it's under 5, just use luck and tell me.
62.
62. That is a success.
Barney, this is Barney, Artie's secretary here.
He knows you.
Oh,
You
okay.
were there.
I don't know if he
Remember, you
remembers
started
me.
the adventure at Brightshield.
I understand, but I don't. Maybe that it's been years since we've been there. Who knows how time has
Fair
changed?
enough. Fair
It
enough.
could have been decades.
Fair
Okay,
enough.
then I'll just
He's on
say
his deathbed and he hears.
Barney the second.
Artie says 57,000 refugees to be coming to property in a few days. Artie buying northeast properties starting at double the cost. Thank you.
Okay.
When you work for Artemis Brightshield and he just tells you one day that to get ready for 57,000.
57,000 refugees.
His-
Really, no, it was part of the order.
I rolled a 3 to see if his response would go through. So
Somewhere out in the ethos is just expletives.
yeah.
Why
No, you cannot see Barnabas to do luck.
That's fair. No, I had to try.
I
We'll
mean,
find
I
out
have
in the
well, so I
post-campaign
have-
discussion.
I have multiple days, so the next day could I try messaging him back?
Well, you do also have a message to send to
Yes.
Octavia.
As 81.
Okay, that's a success. What do you say?
Artie, hi. Artie killed Golden Flame and brother. It's okay. 57,000 refugees coming to Waterdeep. Please let government know. Tell Amos we're sorry. This is sorry. That's it. Love you.
Sorry, this
That
is
caught in a
sorry.
couple
That's
words.
it. Love you.
No, I went back because I was
Sure,
gonna say
sure.
this is the only way, but then I was like, no, I don't really care, so I'm just gonna say love you, bye.
Love you. Bye. Okay, great. Kyra, do you want to say what Octavia's response would be?
Sure.
What does Octavia have to say to that?
I'll roll a d100. See if it goes through.
86.
That goes through.
7,000 refugees.
Hi, Penny. Great to hear from you. Somebody else was told, right?
Yes. Herb Davis was given a heads up.
No, I was trying to clarifying on Kyra, not
number.
Yeah.
Okay.
Herb Davis. Well, Jinarra asked her parents to tell Herb Davis. So
Can
Herb Davis is like, yeah, I think like
as Octavia,
30 guys.
Octavia, yeah, okay. Octavia,
do I know already?
Yes, I would say so, because Herb Davis probably let Laryl Silverhand know, who let Amos know what was happening.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so I will have to DM Fiat, just say the details are being worked out. Octavia's aware of those details. They were not expecting 57,000 people. Granted, not all of them may come to Waterdeep, but they were not expecting 57,000 people. So anyway, that's what Octavia knows right now. Octavia probably knows more, but I don't know more right this second.
Okay.
So
That's fine. Thanks for
You're at 7.
update. Yep, thanks for update. More than expected. We'll take care of it. Hope to see you soon. Love, Octavia.
that's why we love her.
perfect. 25.
It's
Perfect.
like, man, that sucks, but I'll take care of it.
I've already got it under control.
We got it. It's fine.
I'm hand weaving beds as we speak.
The newspapers stopped printing newspapers and now we are making tents.
Now we build beds.
57,000.
I was expecting this to be a city of like less than 10,000.
It's a big ass city.
Yeah.
Really big. City states, they're big.
It's
Yeah.
a city state.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because you got to keep in mind this domain includes the farmland around the city
Right.
proper.
Oh, that's probably already gone.
Yeah, don't tell people.
So like so like probably within the walls proper of the city is like half the population,
Right.
and then the other half of the population is spread in like farming communities around the city.
Who, like, if they were on the other side of the city, they didn't even know we came. There was just a big flash one day, and now the fog is rolling in. Good God.
And
Yeah.
now everybody's talking about somehow leaving.
Yeah, maybe we don't look too hard into this.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else you all want to do in preparation for getting people out of here?
No, I think we
Spend
got
time with some.
So
Okay.
just to be clear,
To be clear.
we got 4% staying,
Yeah,
57% going to Faerun,
yeah.
and so the other 39% is going to Eberron.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a quick question for the group, not as Penny. Who is Minos? Did we kill him?
No.
Okay, so he's still there.
I think
Okay, so now this is Penny asking.
I think that he has something to do with the collar that we're gonna deal with.
Okay. Do we have like some sort of like anti-attack shield spell that we're getting ready? Because I mean, we need to be like ready for it. Because we know as soon as we get the orrery and start hip hopping around to different planes, this guy's gonna pop right out.
Yes, I think the minute that we actually do this and we get home, we should prepare for an absolute slaughter. Which is kind of why I want to bring the cathedral and a basement of it, if possible, to hide people.
Well, here's
It may-
my argument to Minos. He wants Oikos to stay in Ravenloft, and we're not moving most of the city-state of Oikos. We're moving the people of Oikos, not
It
the
is
city.
57%. It is a majority.
But we're not moving this. We're not taking the city with us. We're just taking the people.
He still gets 4,000 people.
He does.
Yeah,
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
yeah.
I
When
guess
we
best
fight it.
at like
Also,
making the-
I think that he's probably going to show up while we're trying to
Yeah.
open the gate, because
That's what I
Lottie
think.
said we might see an interruption in it.
We'll be ready.
How? That's what I'm asking now.
Yeah, good.
Oh.
good.
Are we able to locate ourselves in a different, like away from most of the people?
Penny's on the ground.
The place where this ritual has to happen is at the Silver Flame Hearth. That is the only place where this ritual can happen. Now, the other people of the city don't have to be there with you.
Can we tell them to get like as far to the outskirts of the city as possible?
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
like away from that district at least?
this is kind of a kit bashed ritual. So basically, the way it's going to work is that combination of the orrery and the pure power of the Silver Flame is going to transport anything, can transport anything or anyone within the bounds of Oikos. Within the bounds of this domain. Meaning that you can not have anyone be near you while you're doing this. The Silver Flame Hearth is like underneath the cathedral.
Artie, maybe you should check in again with the Silver Flame when you do inevitably have that conversation with him, and ask him if he's heard any tremors in the weird. I mean, he's like a god, right? He should have an idea of like foresight into what's going to be there and what's going to happen.
Yeah, I can try. I can try that. Yeah. In terms of other like preparations and things, I mean, we can, if we just like get a crap ton of, I don't know, there's got to be a store of potions and the shit we buy and spells we cast on ourselves. We get ready, we get pumped, then we do a thing, and then there's an interruption, and we interrupt the interruption. In tandem. We make it easy.
Perfect.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
So you spent several days getting ready for this and getting the people ready for this, and things are in motion. You've had a lot of help. Artemis, you have, as you said, been intentionally blocking conversations with the Silver Flame in your dreams. Are you attempting to block it again tonight, or do you want to actually speak with the Silver Flame this time?
No, I'm going to ask him. Ask the flame. All right, I'm ready.
Okay. You open yourself up to the dream. Because they've been trying to contact you about your car's extended warranty. And you finally connect with the Silver Flame. Been a bit busy, have you?
I have. It's a lot, but I think we can do it. I think so. How are you feeling? You don't have another demigod, attempted god, breathing down your neck anymore?
What were you?
I was thinking that I don't want to make the same mistakes that my family made. Because we know how that story ends. Some other band of adventurers comes along, whether it's someone in my family or not, and eventually puts them down. I'm not going to tell anyone not to worship you, but I'm not going to force anyone to do anything they don't want to. Unless it means someone doesn't get hurt. If you have a problem with that, then we can consider ourselves even. You can take the sword back. But I think you still want me. I think you want to see how this plays out. I think you want to see if you actually have what it takes to be as powerful of a god as you want to be. Persuading people the old-fashioned way. Taryn. He's going to do a great job for you. And I'm not going to lie to anyone about where I got half of these powers. Your story will spread in time. But when things change quickly, without oversight, I've seen that story. I've seen what happens.
For your sake, you had better hope that this works out as well as you think it will. But you, I suppose, have questions for me, or you wouldn't have opened yourself back up.
We're thinking of sending some people back to Eberron. Give them a chance to truly get the roots together. What's the situation there? Where you are? Is there a good place for them?
I'm aware that some of the people are planning on going to. Yes, there is a Church of the Silver Flame in Eberron. it is difficult for deities to speak directly with their worshippers in that world. Is the nature of things there. But I have, as best I can, sent visions to the faithful to expect the arrival of people of Oikos.
Wonderful. Thank you for that.
The head of the church, the current keeper of the Silver Flame. Her name is Nyx Darling. Distantly descended, actually, from the same family that Taryn is. Nyx is young, but she is strong in and will send word through the church to try and keep try and help the people that arrive.
Good.
Eberron is technologically very advanced, much as your world is. Although, whereas much of the technology in your world comes from coal and steam, the power in Eberron comes from the dragon shards. So, but they will have allies in Eberron to help those that do travel.
Good. Good. So, I'm going to bring part of the city back. And when we do so, we've been given a heads up that we're going to be interrupted. Somebody, something doesn't want us. I think it has something to do with this caller, the maybe Minos. Any insight?
Just as before, when you asked about this individual, I do not have an answer.
We'll deal with it then.
The caller, this is who your adversary is, has been an unknown entity for much time and continues to be.
Wow. I look forward to proving to you that I'm right.
Suppose we'll see. And the dream ends.
Go to sleep.
Yeah. The big day has arrived. If you haven't already clicked long rest, make sure that you're all fresh and full because it would be a new day.
18 temporary hit points.
Plus 18 temporary hit points.
Are we doing it?
Hmm?
Are we doing the thing today? Or
We have reached the day
the
of.
final.
So if there was anything
Okay.
you wanted to do before
I'd love
day
to back
of.
this up. Yes.
So, okay, what else do you want to do before day of?
I would love not in the mansion.
Okay.
In the mansion? Oh no, anywhere. I'm going to assemble all of the materials required for our team to have one hell of a feast.
Yes. Okay.
So
Great.
it's going to be just a long banquet table, and probably all the, yeah, we'll do it in the mansion. All the Dannies will wait on us, and we'll invite. Is there anyone else we want to invite and give this bonus to? If not, I'll just bring my mom. I can go up to 12 people.
Nemesis?
Yeah.
Nemesis.
Not Terran.
I
I'm
know.
over
I think
him.
I think we're gonna have to, but I don't like him.
Out of courtesy.
Ariadne.
Yeah.
Ariadne!
Ariadne.
Yeah, get that bitch here. She's cool.
Yeah.
The captain?
The captain of the guard. Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna need him on our side.
Okay.
What are we at?
2, 3, 4,
6,
6, 7, 8,
7, 8, 9,
10.
10. So we have 2 more.
2 more.
Do we have 2 more?
No, we don't have it. We don't have 2 more friends. The guy we almost turned into a cat. Or the guy we did turn into a cat and almost killed.
The guy we turned into a cat.
As a show of good faith.
Yeah.
As an
Yeah.
apology for that. Because he definitely did hear us talk about trying to kill him.
Yep.
Yeah, Bowmin openly threatened it.
Yeah, he went to bat for us.
Yeah.
Well, but you didn't kill him. Actions speak louder than words.
And probably just, I don't know, whoever is distinguished themselves from the little resistance.
Great.
They don't matter. Another person. 12 of us. In a big feast. In gem-encrusted bowls and
Yeah.
cups and chalices and...
So the night before, yeah, you pull together a group of 12 for this grand dinner and cast Heroes Feast. It takes you all a full hour to eat this meal, but what benefits do they get from this, Artemis?
Everyone for 24 hours gets... You are cured of all diseases and poisons. You become immune to poison and being frightened. You make all wisdom saving throws with advantage. Your hit point maximum is also increased by 2d10, and you gain the same number of hit points. We can each roll 2d10, or should I just roll 2d10?
I think you just roll and...
I will roll.
Can you also send all of this in the chat so that...
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are we doing this like the day before the day?
Yeah, it would be the night
it's night
before, so it'll last 24 hours.
Ooh. That is 12 additional. So increase your hit point maximum by 12. What's that max HP modifier?
Yeah, lots of good benefits. Is there anything you say to everybody as you cast this spell and, you know?
Yes, I just want to say thank you again to all of you, all of In Tandem, especially for coming with me. This has been an interesting few weeks. We've gotten to know ourselves more than I think we wanted, and know each other more than we wanted. But everywhere we've gone, even when we were very upset, okay, I was very upset that we were doing things brutally and causing hurt. I think we're on the right track now. And some people may get hurt by our shenanigans, but we know how to fix it and to take responsibility. I couldn't be doing any of this without everything I've learned from each of you the day you pushed me into the sewers. So, whatever happens, it's been one hell of a ride. Let's wrap this up.
Cheers! All the people, the guests you invited.
Fucking
No.
Captain Regard. Cheers!
Cheers! Yeah. With that,
Cheers.
you cast the spell. After you all eat and drink, or sometime during the dinner, Ariadne is going to come over to you, Artemis, and say, so, tomorrow I will lead you down to the hearth, as well as anyone else you think it fitting to come to the hearth. And you may cast the spell to take, well, to do what you're going to do. I am wondering, I still have not made up my mind about where I would like to end up. I was thinking of staying here.
I think I would miss you, but you certainly can. You'd be welcome with me. I'll build a whole library. I'll show you. There's this girl I know. She loves books. She could show you Candlekeep.
I'm gonna lean towards Nyx and be like, I also fucking love books, but no one talks to me like they talk about fucking Rose Wilmington, who hasn't been here in literally years.
I just pat me on the shoulder.
Penny's misplaced aggression towards Rose Wilmington.
Hate that bitch. I can't stand that girl.
Like giggling while he's taking sips of his drink.
Make a persuasion check for me, Artemis.
Natural 1.
Ah.
No. Sorry.
Okay, that's a 19 plus 18 is 20. What is that? What is that
Big
math?
number.
Big.
Nuts.
Big
It's
number.
30,
37.
5 plus. Yeah.
Is this Nemesis?
This is Ariadne.
Snake
Oh.
girl.
Yeah,
Right.
Snake Girl. She
We could try to remove her curse. Well, maybe she'd die.
No, she said she didn't want to.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
she sort of thinks about it and says, well, I suppose a new library would be interesting to see.
It's all new books. Basically.
All right, I will come to favor.
Good.
Insight check.
Make an insight check.
And can I detect thoughts?
Right,
Natural 20.
Natural 20. I mean, I don't know that you need to detect thoughts with a nat 20 insight check.
Never mind.
She's being sincere. I mean, she's, she just had trepidation about leaving this place. And she is a snake lady who is now actually a demon specifically. Like, that is her monster type, so she's not like not sure that there is a place for her. But Artemis has assuaged some of those concerns, at least enough that she's going to give it a chance.
Slay. I love her, but no one's off of my you may be the caller list right now. So
Okay.
everyone's giving insight checks.
The next day, Ariadne leads you all, and are you bringing anyone else, or is it just you all and Ariadne?
I think if we're worried about people's safety, it's probably just us and Ariadne.
Yeah, everyone else who got a boost can help take care of everyone else.
For all we know, Big Bad will attack further out anyways.
Okay.
We spread the word for everyone to hunker down.
Take shelter while the spell is in
Shelter in
effect.
place.
Yeah, shelter in place. Shelter in place. Good call. Good call.
The tornado warning sound is going off.
Exactly. Great. You all descend deep beneath the cathedral of the Silver Flame. And as you go deeper and deeper beneath it, you eventually reach a truly ancient crypt built beneath, seemingly hollowed out of a natural cavern, featuring stone pillars supporting the ceiling and a truly enormous stone fireplace in the center, unlit. This is the Silver Flame hearth. Ariadne sort of looks at it in the center and says, I was still, the last time I was here, I was a teenager many centuries ago. And the Silver Flame was burning in that hearth.
Oh, let's put things back then.
Ariadne, if you don't want to be here when we light it for your own safety, you don't have to stay.
If there's danger, I am happy to help you face it.
Before we light it, can I cast Protection of Evil and Good on Artie?
Sure.
I'm just trying to before we light it and put the
Before we
Yeah,
get
Nyx,
lit.
you've spent all
Yeah.
morning tinkering with the orrery, and you now have like a bunch of like cables attached to it that once the hearth is lit, you're going to attach to the fireplace.
yeah. But also it's a concentration spell. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything.
Okay, Nyx, you've got this. I'm gonna go ahead and just give you a bardic inspiration.
Okay.
That'll help you a little bit.
Cool.
You're the smartest, most dangerous demigod that we've really ever known. And I really don't look forward to the day that you get a big head and we have to kill you.
What? Huh?
Kidding.
I think Lottie will take care of that before you guys do. So, okay, I don't really have anything else, but okay. All right.
You guys got this.
Whew. I like make sure all of the cables are untangled and get into position.
I have
Okay.
my gun ready and aimed at both at the Silver Flame thing, just in case something jumps out.
You gotta
Yeah.
shoot the fire.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be
I
weird.
agree.
I'm ready, locked and loaded.
We've all got, it's 18 temporary hit points.
Yes.
Oh, can I say that we Hayes was from yesterday?
Hayes can be here and Cypress can be here if you want. Yeah.
Cypress, poor boy.
That poor fucking bird. Dragged through hell.
He didn't even get to throw the rubble that he picked up.
He didn't. He didn't even really get to pick it up. He used all of his movement to get there. And they got roasted.
Make
Yeah.
him pick up some rubble right now so he's ready.
Yeah. Yeah, he came down with some rubble.
Yeah, it's just.
He just waddled down the
I'm
steps.
gonna fucking get him now.
All right.
All right. Artemis, you are the one who's going to have to light the flame. And I will let you flavor that however you want to flavor it. You do feel
Ugh.
drawn to the hearth.
I am going to the space that we've got. Will no one be within 5 feet of me?
Well, I have to
There's
be
a
with-
space where you and Nyx could stand far enough apart that no one would be within 5 feet of you, if you wanted.
Okay. That could get a little tricky.
I
I
could
will.
also use Mage Hand for things.
It's okay. I think. Up to you.
We'll see what you do. I'll just kind of give you a sec.
I will summon the sword. And I'll move through some of my like basic techniques and like it's a drill to practice, and I will mutter under my breath the same oath that my dad drilled into my head of stand in defense of those who cannot defend themselves. It's a knight of Oikos, I promise to, blah, blah, blah. I don't have the
Yeah.
words written down in
Yeah.
front of me, but Artemis remembers.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and then we will end it with casting of Blue Flame Blade
Okay.
and stabbing the sword down into the hearth.
Yeah. As it does, flames roar to life in the hearth. The silver flame has been relit beneath the cathedral. As it does, Nyx, you can feel an insane amount of magical energy in this place that you can harness with the orrery.
Is the hearth hot? Like, if I stick my hand in it, will I get burnt?
I mean, yeah, you don't
Okay.
have, but you don't have to come into physical contact with the flame itself.
Okay, I just have to like.
You just have to set everything up, which you've.
You imagine we get this far and Nyx just jumps in the
It's
fire.
too hot.
It's too hot. Never mind.
Nyx goes, bathroom?
Nyx, you spend a few moments attaching everything around the silver flame hearth to conduct this modified gate ritual, this magnified gate ritual.
Use that.
And as you begin to do this, a low mist starts gathering in the room about you.
What is it?
You hear echoing all around you. So much work to get everything perfectly aligned. So many faces, so many names. And an image forms in the mist of an old man who, Artemis, you would recognize from your visions as Minos. And in fact, Ariadne gasps and says, "That's him." And the face of a wizard convincing a man that the only guarantee for his life would be to become a god. Minos disappears into the mist. Another figure appears in the mist. Penny, this is the doctor that treated your mother when she was sick. A doctor who said tragically, there's nothing we can do. She must die. to prevent a prophesized hero from rising. But no, disappears. A police officer, Nyx, you see, who arrested the vagrant agitating the city populace to keep them locked away so they couldn't interfere in my business, disappears again. Bowmin. You see one of the soldiers of the Sword Coast Federation. The man who spotted you all entering and caused your friend Diesel to fall overboard, dooming you to a great war. Surely that would kill you. Disappears. Jinarra, you see the demigod that killed your father before, when you had to go off on an adventure to save him. Or maybe the daughter of the adventurer, maybe she could be dissuaded if she had family emergencies to deal with. Surely, because the heir to the Silver Flame couldn't come here without help, disappears into the mist. But the voice just echoes. Even with all of that, even with all of my planning and foresight, somehow fate drew you all here anyway. But it's fine, I thought. It's fine. Because they would need a powerful cleric of the Raven Queen to help. What better way to shake the faith of even the most devout than by striking down their loved ones with illness? But no! You all were determined to be here and ruin all of my plans. I am on the verge of becoming one of the dark powers, and none of you will stop me. I will fight fate itself if I have to. And emerging out of the mist is the caller in his true form, as you have seen an image before. But it would be rude of me not to invite some other guests to the party. And with that, emerging from the mist are several other figures. You remember General Drakov? A headless corpse of a soldier staggers into the room. And I believe you're acquainted with the Prince of the Fae of Tempest. The Fae Prince enters as well. And I believe you're also acquainted with, many, many monsters. And shadows start appearing in the mist around you. This is the end of your journey. And with that, we'll end tonight's episode. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night.